8:10 p.m. Wednesday, March 25.
So yesterday.
Yeah.
You are in
I'm
the
talking from the past, you know. Yeah,
so
yeah,
you need to impress the future now.
yeah. This is a hard work, you know, but I'll do my best. So I'm ready to go, or do we have to wait for something else, maybe? Okay. When I'm ready, you're ready. Okay. Hello, guys. I'm Felipe Cardona from Bogota, Colombia. I'm a professor in Javeriana University in Bogota. I teach mostly audiovisual assignments like a documentary, music video, and stuff like that. I would like to show you something about collaborative documentary workflows. Let me just share my screen with you. I'll start my presentation. Okay. There you go. You're watching my screen right now? Okay. Okay. So when you talk about a collaborative documentary, of course, you have to talk about what it has been made before. For instance, if you talk about the research work made by Professor Mandy Rose in the UK, you can find a really interesting documentary samples like Video Nation, High Rise, Life in a Day, of course. This is a really famous sample. And of course, you have to talk about what Professor Max Lesher in Mass University have done in 24 frames, 24 hours, which is a really good sample of documentary workflow made in a collaborative way. Last year, with a student in Manchester, a student from Salford University, we create a sort of collaborative documentary, of course, but supported by an augmented reality application, and all of these got together into a mobile workflow using apps like iMovie or Sphere and a lot of stuff that let me show you right now. How was this process about? Okay, the first step of this process was being part of Moco 360, which is a Facebook community, also in another social media like Google Plus. And in this group, we you know, get together and meet each other, people from all over the world, like you guys in New Zealand, and a lot of students in Bogota, and we try to create international projects with each other and try to connect and create something together. And the second step was test web and mobile apps like Biclone. This was the first step in our dynamic. And of course, the app we test for here and there was Sphere, which is a really interesting app that creates the illusion of being in a place different than the real place you are in the moment you are using the app. It's really interesting to see that 360 photograph that you can watch some other places in the world. Okay, this is nice. The third step was being in a place different than the place you are, thanks to Sphere, of course. And fourth step finally was find someone to work with, ask for help, and try to create a workflow together, no matter what place you were, using social media. In this case was Facebook groups and Facebook chats and all this stuff. Okay, so here and there has a really easy to use workflow. The fifth step was to make a storyboard, a common storyboard shared in a Google Docs document, and we try to put some ideas in it with some samples and photos and so on. So Morgan Royal and me create this documentary in this storyboard. And we create sphere photos, 360 photos in each place we were. In this case was Bogota, in my case, and Manchester, in the city of where Morgan Roy lives. So we try to see Bogota from Manchester using Sphere app and Manchester streets from Bogota. Thanks to Sphere and you know the how easy it was to share these photos with each other. Okay, after we create those spheres and share with each other, we create a documentary using iMovie. And you know, iMovie for iOS has this capability of iCloud sharing, and you can you know, share footage with each other and use different iMovie projects. But actually, you could create a video editing project in a collaborative way right now, like with apps like Cameo. So I'll talk about that later, and also some other apps like Sketchbook, which is a free Photoshop with 4 layers, really good app to create you know, graphic design. And also this one, which is really good, which is Notebeats, a really good app to create music in a really easy way. And we create the music of this documentary using Notebeats. And we put all these apps together into our social media dynamic to create a documentary. And this is Here and There. Actually, I put the link of Here and There chat. So if you want to watch it, you just hit the link and you can watch it, all of you, the final result of this process.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay if you watch the documentary right now, or maybe later. It's up to you.
We'll do that later, just after your presentation. Okay, Felipe?
Okay, terrific. So if you watch Here and There, you can watch a documentary made between Bogota and Manchester using maps and Sphere app, and we try to locate each other in a space in a really easy to use workflow for a documentary in a collaborative way. There are another attempts of collaborative documentary workflows. With Professor Dan Wagner, we try to create another Here and There documentary using iCloud sharing capabilities, which is really nice. And yeah, actually we could back to the project anytime. Another collaborative app, really nice for creating music videos, no matter where you are, with an international team, is Cameo. Cameo is nice to create video clips. You could be Facebook friends, and these Facebook friends could be part of a team and create a video together, which is nice. Actually, you could create any kind of video with Cameo, but they really give nice tools to create music videos. This is a sample of something made with students in Javeriana University last year with Cameo. This was a video with guys in Bogota, but right now in the new edition of Moco 360, we're actually creating videos with international teams, people in New Zealand, in Bogota, in the UK. we try to move this idea further, you know. There's another platforms right now to create COLAB documentaries, like COLAB CrowdSync, sorry, which is a really good competition of Biclone. I think you have tested Biclone before, according on what I've read before about this class. And this is a really nice one as well, a competition of Biclone, which is JumpCam, that allows you to create international projects. This one as well, the Clean Champ, which is only available for app stores outside Colombia. I don't know why, but it is what it is. If you try this app, please let me know how good or bad it is. Yeah, the final question in this project is, what's the right category of here and there? You know, Professor Mandy Rose, when she mentioned those examples like Video Nation, High Rise, Life in a Day, they try to create categories like the co-creative relationship, the participation of servers, the community of purpose, the traces of multitude, which is a sort of categories for this new collaborative documentary workflow. And I'm not really sure what kind of collaborative documentary is here and there according on these categories. So maybe later I'll tell you what the kind of documentary is here and there. The only thing I know is that I would like to create more documentary in this way, in this fashion, like a collaborative workflow, and we will see what's there in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Felipe. Do you have any questions for Felipe?
If it's okay for you, you can watch here and there and see what's the final result of this, if it's okay for you. It's really short, you know.
Some feedback. Yeah. Could you add it in the chat?
Could I what?
Add the link in. Ah, yeah, you've got the link in the chat?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I've got it here. Yeah. Okay, so give us a.
It takes a long time to make mainland cheese.
We've got the ad now.
So sorry.
Yeah, okay. Okay, playing now. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to get back to you, Felipe. Yes.
Okay.
Where are you? I've lost you. Oh yeah. Yeah. So we watched it. Any question for Felipe?
How hard was it to work in with different time zones?
The question is how hard was it to work with different time zones?
Yeah, it's a bit hard, but you know, comparing with the difference between Colombia and New Zealand, the difference between the UK and Colombia, it's a piece of cake, you know. It's only 9 hours, and we try to get together in a Facebook wall post, you know, and we try to work together. You know, at this, not at the same time. We actually we didn't have a chat like this one with each other because you know the time zone wasn't really helpful. But yeah, actually we work in Spanish we say asincrónico, but we say without the time issue. You know, in our own times. And we try to make arrangements in that way. Yeah.
Any other question? So you understand? Each of them they took a sphere. Yep. They created that 3D world. But thanks to the app, you can play it on your iPad. So when you rotate left and right, it moves like you're inside. But you've got the personal landscape around you, and they made it sort of documentary like that. The only thing was planning and sort of talking about the script together. And also for all of you, because that was one of my questions to Taylor as well, when you do some video or even when you record something, when you put a soundtrack, for me, it has to make sense. And most of our you might be actually banned from YouTube or Vimeo because of you don't have a copyright. But here you've got nude beats, sort of electronic music you can play with. You get a sort of ambient noise or sort of soundtrack, low-key, or something very specific if you want. And another thing that we've tried to do with Felipe, with Helen and Daniel, Helen has some sound engineer students in Manchester. So you've got another 8 weeks in front of you as a project, and if you need a specific soundtrack, you can basically make a RFP, sort of a call for soundtrack from one of the students, and saying, do you want to design a soundtrack of 2 minutes, and these are the keywords, talk to me if you're interested. And for you, this is where also I need clarification. You can work with Felipe for some advices. You can send him some footage, and he can give you some feedback. You know, but you can have that soundtrack from Manchester, and from the Manchester student, it's an extra piece of work, not assessed, but something that you can put in his portfolio. And it sounds very weird now. But when you say I've got an international collaboration between Manchester and New Zealand, it looks good in a portfolio. On SoundCloud, saying you see the international project in New Zealand and Manchester, that looks much better than saying I live in Manchester and I work for the BBC, which is about 100 meters away from my place. The BBC is prestigious, but working internationally like that, it's also bringing some good positive vibes in the network. Okay, but as I said, we don't assess it, we don't mark it. So you've got a chance to engage with someone from Bogota, from Manchester, from France, graphic designer, or even here at Unitech, or Massive University down in Wellington. But it's something extra. However, if you do that extra, it's something you can record in your blog. Okay, So it's not direct work, production work for the end of the year work exhibition, end of semester, sorry, exhibition. But it's something that you can add. Yeah. So yes, and you need to learn Spanish also. Yeah, we can see.
But it's not that hard, you know. You can watch that tutorial and see how Notebit works if you want to create your own. Yeah.
Tequila, gracias, and tequila. Yeah.
Gracias, gracias.
Exactly. Any other questions for Felipe? How long it took for here and there? Yeah. Yeah. How long took here and there to be produced?
It was a little bit long, you know, because we tried to create a lot of international projects during Moco 360 in 2014. But I would say that roughly took maybe 1 month from the exact moment when we start to capture sphere photos until the moment we finally you know, export the final video in iMovie. It took us roughly a month.
Okay. And if you think if you were doing that,
fast.
and if you think if you were doing that just from a professional perspective, how long do you think it will take?
From one to what? Can you rephrase the question, please?
Yeah, Felipe, if you were doing that for a client, how long do you think it will take?
Oh,
a day, 2 days of work, 3 days?
I think here and there workflow is really easy to use. It's not really hard. We just have to you know to make agreements in members, and yeah, if we try to create something for a client, I think it wouldn't take more than a week, because we're talking about people working for real, you know. I think more than a week is not, because if you watch here and there is only a couple of shots made in different places, and the only maybe a difficult task in this workflow is the editing, and the editing was made in a regular mobile phone. So
yeah. Thank you. Esther is asking, what will you do differently if you need to do it again? What will you improve or what will you change?
Okay, you know, there are a lot of new apps and platforms that let us create collaborative work right now, like the one I just showed you in the presentation. I would like to try some other apps, and maybe use something like Cameo to create a real-time collaboration with a team, you know, because when you work you know, in a different time zones and things like that, maybe it could take a little bit longer than you expect. So yeah, a platform like Cameo is really interesting because you can work in real time with an international team. So I would like to try something like that.
Okay, muchas gracias. Another question?
What a difficult audience.
Yeah. I think that's good. And I know it's getting quite late for you as well. Well, okay. Gracias again. So this video will be it's on YouTube anyway, so I will flick you the link. Okay. And if there is any question, we will see. I will add you to the community as well, so you can have a look at what we do here in New Zealand.
Okay.
And of course, there's the hashtag Moco360. Okay.
Terrific.
Okay, one more thing, Felipe. So yeah, can we say thank you to Felipe? Yeah, thank you. And I would like to be in touch with you regarding Mina, and so probably next week to set up a meeting together for next week to talk about Mina. Okay?
Okay, great. Let's do it.
Well, once again, thank you. Bye bye.
Okay. Thank you, Laurent. Merci beaucoup.